if you are watching this shit and you considering getting into trading, you not sure if you really want to or not, I'm letting you know right now, if you do not have the strength to pick yourself up after you fall with the help from nobody else, don't get into this shit, dog. All right, what's good, y'all? Pretty sure if you seeing this, more than likely you some sort of day trader. You trade futures, or you trade, because that's what I am. I'm a day trader. I go by Lace. I'm sure none of y'all know who I am, but I just got my first payout recently. I've been trading for like 4 years, I want to say. I've been trading ICT for like a year and a half. And Tuesday of this week, today I think is the 20th, I want to say. I don't know the fucking date. But I think on the 17th of February is when I got my first payout. I requested a payout for, I think, $1,800 and some change. I'll probably try to add like a picture or something in the video, more than likely. But this is 4 years in the making, and I kind of wanted to make this video for one, to kind of like share my experience leading up to this payout, and also for the people who are, maybe intermediate traders. You're on your way to your first payout and you kind of just been, stuck in that same cycle that I was stuck in before I just got my first payout. The thing about trading that a lot of people fail to realize until it's too late is that most of the time your issue isn't your model or like your understanding of the market that makes you lose. It's your psychology 90% of the time. Because the thing about trading is, yes, you have to have a technical analysis and understand how to read the chart or understand what the market's telling you. Of course, that's a big part of it, but a lot of your decisions when it comes to like executing a trade, deciding your bias, or all the extra shit that come with trading, bro, a lot of that goes with your psychology, and it has nothing to do with how smart you are in the market, how much you know about the market, because it doesn't matter. And I think a lot of the issues that people may run into when coming into profitability is that they blame the market for everything. You lost a trade today, yesterday, and you blew an account last month, and every time you took a loss or blew an account, your reason was the market was trash, or whatever you would like to say. But no, the market didn't just fuck you over, because the market didn't tell you to get in. The market didn't say, okay, get in, this is, take a long right here, and whole time the bias is really bearish. Nobody told you to get in. That's yourself, so you have to take accountability for that. One thing that helped me realize that was the book Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. That book actually helped a lot in me getting my first payout. Like, I didn't get my first payout until after I read that book. But that's what a lot of traders do. A lot of traders will blame all of their mistakes on the market, and it's not the market. What you have to realize with trading is you don't need to know what's gonna happen to become profitable. Like, a lot of these trading gurus that you watch, obviously after having a certain amount of screen time, you have a pretty strong bias or idea what's gonna happen based on certain signals in the market. But even your top trading gurus like TJR, TT Trades, Dodgy, like all these people, bro, they don't actually know what's gonna happen. That's what people need to realize, bro. These traders, like, even including myself, bro, nobody's different from anybody. Like, well, people are different, but nobody's special. There's nothing about these traders or like these gurus that makes them just so special to where they can print money and you just can't. I'm 20 years old. I still stay with my dukes. You feel me? I'm black. I like to smoke. I'm rolling up right now. I like to smoke. I like to listen to music. I will be honest, I was like a decent kid in school. I got good grades and shit. But I'm not the smartest nigga on the planet. I'm just like yo ass. But I mean, I got my first payout. And I don't even want to sound too like I'm bragging or I'm arrogant or nothing like that, because this is only my first payout. This is kind of like, this is a very big achievement for me because I've never done it, but this is like small on my scale of like how far I really want to go with this shit. But there's nothing that separates me from you for real. Like, if you cut my face right now, I'm gonna bleed, bro. And that's the same thing with all these other trading mentors and, you know, people that you watch on a day-to-day basis. Like, nobody's different, bro. So if you're thinking about quitting or like this, it's just not for you, then you're just a quitter. You don't want this shit enough. Because I'm gonna tell you what, a lot of people think that you can pay your way to profitability, like by getting a mentorship or buying somebody's course, and these things do help. Like, if you can pay for like if you can buy somebody's mentorship, I think that's my brother, I don't know, pay for somebody's mentorship, and you know they actually hold your hand or like really show you what the fuck to do, then yeah, you can become profitable and make a decent amount of money. Hold on, chat. Yeah, like I was saying though, like if you pay for a mentorship, like if you pay for one of those one-on-one courses or some shit like that, and you spend like $1,000 or $3,000, like I'm sure those mentors are gonna get you right if you're paying them that type of money. But like if you think you're gonna join somebody's Discord and you know you're gonna learn to be profitable in the next 3 months or 6 months, I wish you the best, because that shit likely, like most of the time, that shit don't happen. And I don't want to sit here and be like necessarily the bearer of bad news, but I love to tell you that it's probably not gonna happen, because I've been doing this shit for 4 years, and I'm not gonna say that your process is gonna be anything similar to mine, because there are people who get profitable in 6 months, maybe less. You have to, the way that you come into trading has to be a certain way. Like you can't come into trading with no type of base knowledge, going into it with the wrong type of psychology, nobody's helping you with your psychology, and then think that you're going to be profitable in 2 months or even a month, because that's what people think. I remember when I first started trading, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to learn this shit, and I think that I'm gonna be profitable at least by the end of the year. Fuck no, that shit was not the case. This was my junior year of high school that I was thinking this shit. I just got profitable. I've been out of high school for what, about to be 3 years. It's pain that really goes into learning this shit. So like, you know, a mentor can help, but it's not gonna just get you right where you want to be with trading, bro. But that's kind of besides the point. But to talk more about like my journey to becoming profitable, I'll say the biggest thing that kept me stuck was trying to keep learning the charts. You know, I think one of my biggest issues was understanding bias. It did take me a while to understand bias. I think I didn't really get the best that I could have been with bias until recently, honestly, leading up to me becoming profitable. But the main thing wasn't necessarily my analysis. It goes back to what I said earlier, like your psychology is everything when it comes to trading. I'm rolling this shit real quick. Hold on, y'all. Fuck, this shit ripped on me, bro. Damn. But yeah, man, like, nigga, psychology is gonna be your biggest issue as a trader. And if you're anything like me, you've probably heard that shit 1,000 times, but you're not gonna really get it. I didn't really get it until I started to read Trading in the Zone, and then I realized, like, damn, that's why psychology is so important when it comes to trading. Because in all honesty, bro, trading is gambling. You know, you don't know what is going to happen. You never know what's going to happen, and the book tells you that. But what makes trading, what makes trading a thing where you can actually become profitable is learning to read the chart, learning to take the signals from the market and understand that, okay, this at least puts a setup more in my favor. And it makes the probability of my setup going as I, want it to go, or going as planned. That's what makes trading not gambling. And I think it helps to look at trading as gambling in the sense of you'll probably start to blame yourself less for taking a loss, because you'll understand it's just part of trading. Because even though, like I said earlier, you need to be responsible for your losses and it's not the market that fucked you over, you're still gonna lose trades. Most people, the best traders that you've ever seen on this platform of YouTube, they still take losses. I don't watch TJR personally myself, but I just seen one of his videos pop up saying how he took a hell of a loss the other day. Nobody is exempt from this shit, bro. Because trading is just a whole bunch of people on the chart saying what they think is gonna happen. And everybody's actions affects everybody else. If you got in on a long and then you fuck around and got wrecked and then you realized there was actually a bearish setup, that's because more people realized that market was bearish. You became liquidity, to say the least. You became the liquidity that we needed to go be bearish. But you can't predict that. I mean, you can, hypothetically speaking, but at the same time, you don't know what other people are thinking. So for that reason, that goes back to the statement of, you're responsible for your losses, but trading is also just a game of probabilities. So you don't know what's gonna fucking happen. Learn not to blame yourself. I would say that. I blame myself a lot. I got on my head a lot. There were so many times I wanted to quit. Like, I feel like it's necessary to get to that point in trading where, like, you're almost about to crash the fuck out. Like, nah, I'm not doing this shit no more. I'm tired of blowing accounts. Like, because more than likely, if you're watching this video and you're an intermediate trader, you've been learning about trading, trying to trade for at least a year and a half, going on 2 years, you know that feeling. That shit is fucking horrible. And more than likely, you get that feeling after you've blown, like, another account. And then you're just like, all right, bro, fuck this shit. Like, I'm not about to keep doing this shit. I'm done blowing accounts. I'm done wasting fucking money. Like, I get it. Trust me, I know it. But I'm telling you, that shit is damn near necessary for your success, because it teaches you resilience to the market. Because you learn to accept losses a lot better. Once you've hit that point of, like, bro, fuck this shit, I don't even want to do this shit. Like, I'm wasting my fucking money. Every paycheck is going towards another account, and you may even get to that point where you actually pass your eval for the first time, right? You pass your eval for the first time, and now you're really in the fucking zone. You think, oh, bet, take a couple trades, get this payout, and it's on and popping. Yeah, it sound good, but guess what? That first eval I passed, I blew that shit the same week. That shit happens. But you want to know something else that's funny? That account that I requested a payout from, I blew that shit today. I'm not tripping though, because I passed another eval last week, so I got another live account. I'm not tripping. But again, nobody is exempt from losing, bro. No fucking body. Nobody. ICT himself is not exempt from losing, bro. That is all a part of this shit. And what you learn the longer you trade, the more you get used to losses, is you learn something about yourself from each loss that you take. I took one loss today that it wasn't really a bad loss. It was more of like I was trying something that should have worked, and it did work, but I lost because I didn't pay attention to my risk. I didn't size in the appropriate amount of contracts that would have allowed that trade to play out. I took a bullish setup, and my stop was a little too close, and I think I could only lose like $400 in that account today. But in order for that trade to work, I would have had to have my stop at like 600 or something, and the trade would have played out. But I didn't have the right risk, and market came down, took me out. It fucking happens. And you know, it's not the best shit in the world. Nobody likes losing, bro. Nobody does, bro. Nobody likes losing. If motherfuckers liked losing, then I think everybody would probably be profitable at this point. But that's not the case, because you feel me, motherfuckers lose so much and then they give up on trading. That's usually what happens. But I really just wanted to make this video, bro. I wanted to make this video for the people who are young. You know, you're trading, you on your way to your first payout. You looking for some sort of hope that it's possible, bro. I'm telling you, it's possible. It's fucking possible. I'm telling you, it's possible. But you have to show up every day and talk to God, bro. I'm not the religious guy. I'm not gonna sit here and go on and on about how you should build a relationship with, you know, different religious beliefs, gods or anything like that. I don't care what you believe in. But you need to talk to God and ask for his help. I did not get this payout by myself. I showed up every day for myself. Hell the fuck yeah, I did. I put in pain for this shit. Hell the fuck yeah, I did. But this shit would not have went anywhere without God. God will help you become profitable if you ask him. But you have to show up. I showed up on the charts for the last 4 fucking years. 3 years if we trying to, you know, be, I guess, a little more realistic. I showed up on the charts 98% of the year. 95 if I want to give y'all some leeway. But I showed up on the charts. I stayed down with this shit for some fucking time, bro. This shit did not come easy. For some people, it might though, bro. Like, in all honesty, I hope some of y'all might be watching this video. You just got into trading, and then you become profitable in the next couple months. I want that for you. I love that for you, actually. But I've been through my own process, and my own process, you know, it tell me differently that's not, you know, how this shit usually go. But that's my process. I'm not gonna project that on y'all, or, you know, whoever may be watching this. I ain't gonna project that onto you. I want the best for anybody watching this video. Cause I'm telling you, I made this video for the motherfuckers for the people who are my age. You know, rather you in your 20s, you 18, even if you 16 or something watching this video and you want to get into trading, do it, bro. I keep saying this shit. I'm no different than nobody, bro. Obviously, I got my own special qualities. I feel like there are qualities that separate me from most people. None that would prevent you from becoming a trader, though. None that would prevent you from being a trader. Dog, I smoke. I like to play the game. You know, I read books. I like women. I'm not different. I'm like your typical young nigga for real. I'm not a young nigga. I wouldn't say that. I'm a pretty educated young man myself. But point is, I didn't come from no rich having money ass family. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get this shit handed to me. I didn't know somebody who was a trader that put me on this shit. Nah. I picked this shit up by myself and learned this shit by myself because people didn't even believe in this shit for real. I tried to tell my parents about this shit. And if you a trader, you know how that shit go. You tell your parents. They like, oh, it sound good, but it might be a Ponzi scheme, or, you know, they not gonna be hearing that shit unless you show them some sort of proof. That's how parents are. Rightfully so. I guess, you know, they parents was on them a certain way. They just kids having kids for the first time, you know? I get it. But at the same time, you know, that shit, as a trader, I know how that shit feel, and I couldn't really tell my parents about my journey like that. Me and my brother was in online college together, and we just really, like, we came to that realization between the both of us, like, this shit not for us. Like, we've always had entrepreneur mindsets. We've always known that we were going to do other shit. We got to this one point in our college journey where shit got bad. Like, the work that they was trying to give us was OC as shit. Like, they was trying to have us do some programming, like computer code shit that we've never seen. And that right there was our moment to decide, do you really want to go forward and, you know, get a career and be a part of the economy and be a working class nigga? Or do y'all want to find something else that can make y'all money and make you your own boss? I had already been on trade. My brother wasn't on trading like that, but I had been trading at this point for 2 years, or at least learning about it. I already had put too much pain into this shit to decide, like, if I really was gonna go through this shit or not. Because I stopped at one point, honestly. I stopped trading for, like, I want to say probably 3-4 months, maybe almost 6 months. And then when, long story short, Bird said some shit in my ear, however that saying go. Bird whispered in my ears, giving me the idea of trading again. We dropped out of that shit. Started trading, was making no fucking money. And I had to tell my mom and my pops that I dropped out of, well, I don't want to say drop out because it was online college. Like, come on, let's be fucking serious. But nigga, told my pops and my dukes, like, I ain't fucking with that shit. Like, I'm gonna do something else and yada yada. Like, my parents was not going for that shit. To make a long story short, my parents were not going for that shit, bro. Like, if you tell your parents you're quitting college to trade, they're gonna laugh at you like, nigga, you ain't made no money from this shit. You gonna quit college for this shit? Especially if your parents, like, you know, if your parents around the age of 40-ish, above, they came from a whole different generation. If you didn't go to college, you's a fucking bum unless you working at the plant. I'm not working at the plant. So my parents weren't happy with that shit, and I still made the decision to go through with this shit. Because nobody's gonna believe in you with this trading shit except yourself. You have to show up for yourself because nobody else is going to believe you. Your friends might, your boys, because I'm gonna tell you what, my brothers, they ain't never gave up faith on me. Them niggas always had faith that I'd become profitable one day, and I love them niggas for that. If y'all watching this, y'all know I love y'all. But bro, I'm telling you, like, nobody's gonna have your back more than you with this trading shit. So if you are watching this shit and you considering getting into trading, you not sure if you really want to or not, I'm letting you know right now, if you do not have the strength to pick yourself up after you fall with the help from nobody else, don't get into this shit, dog, because this trading shit can actually eat you alive, bro. And you probably watching this like, bro, it's a fucking chart, some numbers, and, you know, some funded accounts. Bro, that shit is emotionally stressful, gang. This shit is no joke, bro. Like, you gotta think, once you learn this skill, you have the ability to print money for yourself for the rest of your life. These charts are more than likely never gonna go nowhere for at least the entirety of my lifespan. I don't know about, you know, forever per se. But for the time being that we here, this chart shit probably ain't going nowhere. You could print money for the rest of your fucking life if you learn this shit. It's a very valuable skill. If that's why motherfuckers think, like, when a motherfucker think like you can just pay for this shit and learn this shit in 2 months or a month and be genuinely profitable. That's why that shit, like, I laugh at shit like that, bro, because if it was that fucking easy, everybody would be doing this shit. Everybody would be doing this shit if it was that easy. And that's why parents is the way that they is about when they hear trading. But you have to be a certain type of serious about this shit. I've been serious about this shit. I knew that I wasn't giving up on this shit. I learned about trading my junior year. And I knew from that point on, based off the accounts that I blown, the money I spent, the dedication that I had in my fucking noggin, I knew I couldn't quit this shit, and I wasn't gonna stop with this shit. And I haven't. You know, I'm still going with this shit 4 fucking years later. I got hair on my face now. When I first learned about this shit, bro, like, I'm not gonna get too off track. But my point is, like, this is a skill that can make you money, can make you wealthy for generations to come. If it was that easy for motherfuckers to learn and do and become successful at, everybody would be doing it. But only 5 to 10% of people who touch a funded account ever even get a payout. I'm happy to say I've officially joined that 5 to 10%. But gang, like, do you realize how low that is? That's 5 people out of 100 people that succeeded in getting a payout. Or maybe 10 out of 100 people. 100 out of 1,000 or 50 out of 1,000. Like, do you understand the ratio for that shit, bro? This shit isn't meant for everybody, bro. It's not. Otherwise, everybody would be doing this shit, bro. But it's not one of them things. That's like when some of my boys be asking me to teach them how to trade. Like, I'll try. I'll try, but bro, I put pain into this shit. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you and act like you gonna be able to just come through the door and you know, do this shit, because you're not. This shit looks so easy. It looks so easy, but it's not. You are fighting against yourself 90% of your journey through trading. I'll take that down to 80%. 80%, you're fighting yourself and your mental the whole time. And that other 20% is the process of really learning whatever your strategy may be, whatever concept, you know, it may be. Because like I said, I trade ICT. I learned ICT like 1.5 years, almost 2 years ago. What I will say is you do have to put in the time to really learn that 20% and understand it. Don't knock that. Like, don't let what I'm saying push that to the side. No, because that is very fucking important to, I think, your success as a trader. So, you know, you want to get that analysis, understanding what you're looking at, why you think the market is, you know, getting biased, learning liquidity, learning, obviously, if you really knew, learning what a candlestick is, how that shit works, and PO3s, this, that, and the third. It's so much shit that you can learn with trading. But don't get fixated on just learning about the market and trading, because the real work is yourself, your psychology, what makes you decide to click a fucking button, and what tells you you're not going to, because nobody tells you to click a button and when not to. Obviously, if you're a copy trader, then yeah, congrats, but you not putting in no work for real. And I don't care how you feel about that shit, you not. But if it's making you pay, I ain't gonna hate. I ain't gonna hate on what make another nigga pay. So there's that. All I want to say is, bro, take your time with this shit. And if you willing to stay down with this shit, bro, stay down. And if you already been staying down with this shit, you would be silly to quit now. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Because literally, if you were to ask me 6 months ago, could I see myself genuinely getting a payout in February, I probably would have told you yes, because I'm delusional about myself, or, you know, confident, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, subconsciously, in the back of my head back then, I would have been like, shit, I don't know. I didn't know fucking 2 months ago that I was going to have a payout at this point. Well, I ain't going to say 2 months. Just the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, I didn't know I was going to have a payout 2 months into the year. I didn't know that. Obviously, I hope for that. I manifest that. I pray for that. But I didn't know that shit. You could be a month, a week, maybe even 6 months away from profitability, but you got to show up to get there. So if you watching this shit, bro, I'm telling you, if you are watching this video, the one thing that I want you to take from this shit, especially if you've been trading for a year or 2 years, or even if you just start trading, stay down with the fucking process, bro. Stay down with that shit. because it's gonna reward you. Talk to God about this shit. Talk to your closest friends about this shit. Your closest, not your people you just kind of cool with, bro. Your best friend, tell them about this shit, bro. If they real, they gonna support you, hopefully. Talk to them about this shit, but otherwise, stay down to yourself and to the process of this shit, bro. Because it's not easy. This shit is not gonna come to you easy by any manner. I'm not gonna sit here and paint that shit in your head, because it ain't easy. Ain't nothing about this shit easy, bro. I done cried many nights about this trading shit, bro. It's that serious. It is that serious. I done cried about this shit. I done made decisions against other people about this shit. My parents, dog. You feel me? It's shit that come behind being a trader, bro. It's not just the holy grail. Obviously, the money gonna come with it. I haven't experienced being a profitable trader for too long. I just became profitable. So, you know, I can't overly speak on this shit. It's worth it. It's worth it, though. If you stay down with this shit, you have learned a skill that will make you money, more money than you've ever seen. Because I tell you what, ain't no job I done ever worked showed me a paycheck for $1,800 that I made in like a week span of time. I don't know about you, but I can tell you that from me, my life, I ain't never got no paycheck that was even, let alone over $1,500 from 1 week's worth of work. But I didn't work. I woke up, looked at a fucking chart, clicked a button into for a couple of days straight, and then I got a payout. So if you tell me if you think the risk is worth it or not. I think it's worth it. And I'm not, and if you watching this shit and you new, don't think that it's gonna take you 4 years. It might not. Your process could be quicker than mine. I'm just speaking on me. But if you willing to stay down with this shit, bro, do this shit, dog. I highly advise that shit. Bro, I ain't no different than nobody. I done said that shit this whole video. I'm sitting in my car rolling up, smoking, and I'm about to go home and figure some shit out. I'm not from space. I'm not about to go home and sit in the mansion that my motherfucking mom and dad bought. No. Going on to a regular crib. I'm in a regular car right now. In one of the most regular states there is known to man. I ain't gonna drop my dot right now, but I'm telling you, bro. But that's really all I made this video for. I kind of made this shit to talk to myself and to really talk to the people who this video can really help. If you seeing this shit right now and you stayed to the end of this video, I want to say thank you. Like I said, my name Lace. I go by Lace Trades. I'm about to start posting content real soon. Educational shit will be coming soon as well, but right now I'm kind of just documenting the process. You know, like I said, I just became profitable. So one of my goals this year was to make my channel once I became profitable, and we here. But I hope y'all niggas straight. I hope everything going good for y'all. I appreciate y'all coming to fuck with me. And stay down with this shit, man. That's the main thing. Stay down with this shit. I'm gonna fuck with y'all on the next shit. Content will be coming through this bitch. I ain't got no dates for it, but I'm gonna catch y'all.